Hi there. Now we begin our next module. In Module 2, we will study an ancient Greek play. So, the dramatist Sophocles wrote this play called Oedipus Rex, or in English, Oedipus the King. The word Rex refers to the fact that Oedipus is the current ruling king. So, this play is called a tragedy. What makes this play a tragedy is that the main character experiences a reversal of fortune, meaning his luck is good in the beginning and goes to very bad at the end. By the end of the play, Oedipus is exiled from the city he once ruled. His wife is dead, and he's brought shame upon his whole family. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This part is just focused on the first half of the play. We'll read the second half of the play in the next part. So, in the play, we focus on King Oedipus and his investigation into the death of a former king. The main characters are King Oedipus and his wife Jocasta, also called Jocasta. Sometimes her name is spelled with an I, sometimes her name is spelled with a J. That's because in ancient Greek those letters are the same. There's also her brother Creon, and then the prophet Tiresias. There's also a chorus in the play, and the chorus is made up of elders from the city of Thebes. Their lines are really like songs, and they reflect upon the action. Sometimes they speak to King Oedipus and the main characters, and they represent the voice of the community. So the play begins with King Oedipus trying to figure out why the city of Thebes is cursed. There's a blight affecting agriculture. Farmers can't grow their crops, women cannot bear children. The cause of this curse, as it turns out, after Creon goes to visit an oracle, it turns out the murderer of the former King Laius has not been brought to justice. So, most of the play consists of King Oedipus investigating. He's speaking with various people, like King Creon. He speaks with the prophet Tiresias. He then later speaks with messengers and shepherds, all to try to figure out who really killed the former King Laius. We watch King Oedipus gradually discover the truth about himself in this process, but I'm getting ahead of myself. When Oedipus begins this investigation, he has the assumption that he will discover the murderer and bring them to justice and get rid of the curse on the city. In the process, though, he discovers some grim truths about himself. We see him go through several stages of denial, too, before he finally accepts the truth. But that's for the end of the play. For now, and for this part of the module, read up to the middle of the play, after Oedipus realizes that Laius could be the one that he killed at the crossroads, and he tells Jocasta that they should send for a shepherd who was the one survivor of the attack on Laius. And that's around page 14 of the online text. Then, once you've read up to that point, review all the instructor's material on the play. There are 3 links that I'd like you to follow. 2 are listed in the reading in this module. There's an overview of Greek tragedy, and there's also a presentation on what makes a tragedy a tragedy. And then you'll also find a link with information on the chorus in Greek tragedy. All Greek tragedies had a chorus, and they served a similar kind of role, so it's important that you're familiar with that role to understand the Greek tragedy. So, at this stage of our study of Oedipus the King, you want to pay close attention to the main characters. There's King Oedipus, his wife Jocasta, her brother Creon, and Tiresias the prophet. Our discussion questions will ask you to analyze these characters, and you want to be sure to include specific references to the reading to support your answer. Remember, of course, I'm always looking for proper grammar, complete sentences, correct verb tenses, and correct punctuation. I look forward to discussing this play with you. I'll see you on the discussion board.